I held open town halls at Villanova University. I actually went and wrote op-eds on it. What we lack, I think, on the Democratic side are people who truly understand the breadth and the depth, the complexity, and making it simple, so that people understand and actually senators can help shape our national security. And I think we don't have that. People voted, but they were trying to work it through. In the Navy, I started this national security effort as I was graduating from the Naval Academy. When I was a senior there, what we call a first-classman, I took no courses except one military one in each of the 2 semesters. And I was sent off to write a thesis on the National Security Council. I used to go off and actually work there in a sense. I wasn't working there, but I'd go and interview and wrote my thesis then on it. It was the beginning of being groomed and trained to eventually go to the National Security Council. There's usually one officer every few years that gets assigned there. And so I then went to sea. I was supposed to be there for 3 years. I extended because I loved the seas, being out there with the crews and forming teams for an extra year. Then I came home and they sent me to Harvard University, where I got my doctorate. It was in political economy and government. Only about 1 person a year goes there for that doctorate. The reason is government was national security affairs. That's what I specialized there. But political economy is the rise and fall of the great powers. If you read the book, it is based upon how strong your economy is. So Netherlands, when they were just the Dutch, my gosh, they were one of the greatest military powers in the world. But then their economy went down. So I wanted to understand both and how they interrelated. I then, after I'd come back to sea after each tour, was sent to the Navy staff for strategy. Worked for General Powell and the Joint Staff, and Admiral Crowell, the Joint Staff, and eventually to the National Security Council, where my responsibility as part of my portfolio was to develop each year, under the Clinton administration for 3 years when I was there, the national security strategy of what we call engagement in this world. I worked hard in these areas. It wasn't what I focused on when I went to Congress. But increasingly, I think bringing that skill, that investment a nation put in me down there is going to be very critical in Washington, D.C., so we avoid another tragedy. Because I learned that militaries may stop a problem, we just don't fix a problem. Does anybody here think we fixed Iraq? We're still dealing with the splinters that occurred from that. Al-Qaeda in Iraq became ISIS. We're still dealing with it, and we're just going to bombing into Libya because of that tragedy in Iraq.